New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Good evening, and welcome to the Miracle of Prosperity here on the New Thought Media Network. I'm your host, the Reverend Dr. Jim Webb. I serve as the Senior Minister of the Tacoma Metaphysical Chapel in Silver Spring, Maryland. I'm also the author of the book, The Soul of Prosperity, as well as a number of other books, including Forgive Your Way to Prosperity, 30 P's for Prosperity, Prosperity from A to Z. And it's an honor always to be with you. For every Sunday evening, we work with a different aspect of prosperity. Because prosperity is more than just money and stuff. Prosperity actually, we think, begins with money and stuff. But money and stuff is just one of many forms that prosperity can take. Prosperity is simply any aspect of love that shows up in our lives. So a loving relationship is relationship prosperity. Having a job you love is professional prosperity. Loving yourself, which is being in the energy and the vibration of unconditional love, is spiritual prosperity and having the peace that passes all understanding. And logistical and support prosperity is the universe showing you logistical support in the form of ease and support in the form of finances and every other kind of support that makes your life easily, effortless, and joyful. So we look every week at ways that we can enhance our inner consciousness so that that inner consciousness is reflected in outer prosperity, or we look at ways that we can remove the blockages to prosperity. For as the Sufi poet Rumi said, love is all around. Our task is to release the blockages to love. So when we release those blockages to love, what can show up is all the forms of love that we think of as prosperity. So we're going to get at it tonight. I have a special guest, and we're going to talk about authenticating your way to prosperity. Authenticating your way to prosperity. Now, you know what authenticating is because every time you log into your bank account or your credit card account, they ask you to authenticate it. They send you a code to your cell phone to make sure it's you, and you've got to give them back the 6 numbers, 633155. So you know what authenticating is. Well, authenticating your way to prosperity is based on something that spiritual teacher Jerome Braggs mentioned. Jerome Braggs said, prosperity can only find you at your home address just like UPS. So, in order for prosperity to find you, it must find you at your authentic, energetic imprint. It must find you as your authentic self. It must find you as you have been divinely encoded, not where you think others think you should live and you wear a mask, not where others think you should be so you hide. It can only find you at your home address. So that's what we're going to discuss tonight. And we're going to discuss it with my dear friend, author and spiritual teacher, Henry Harris. Good evening, Henry.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm great. How are you this evening?
I'm doing wonderful.
Oh, good. I'm so looking forward to discussing this with you because if I understand correctly, you have a new book that talks about being your authentic self. Is that accurate?
Yes, that is accurate. And it comes out this spring. It's called Uncover, the Bridge
Yes.
Between Acceptance and Authenticity.
Yes. So let's talk about this since prosperity can only find you at your authentic address. Uncovering means taking off the masks that we have been forced to wear in order to believe ourselves to be acceptable to others. Am I getting that right?
Yes, you are getting that right. You're right on it.
Okay. So why
um,
do we think we have to wear masks, Henry?
why do we?
Yes.
Well, the reason why people wear masks is to protect something.
What are
Like,
they protecting, do you think?
well, I think they're protecting what is what they really want to be,
Hmm.
or maybe they're taking on different. I always say sometimes people take on different versions of themselves that's
Hmm.
not authentically them, or they really
Yeah.
want to be themselves, but they feel like, well, I can't. So
Yeah.
what they're protecting is pretty much the mask. So if I hide behind the mask, I feel safe, I feel secure.
Okay.
But you can only be there for so long, and at the end of
Hmm.
the day, you're giving yourself a disservice by
Mm.
hiding behind the mask. And sometimes people hide behind religiosity. We
Hmm.
hide behind what the opinions of others. We hide behind what uh, uncle thinks or what this person says instead of
Hmm.
just being true to ourselves. So that's what we hide behind, and whatever we hide behind, we often protect that at all costs.
Okay. Okay. Because if we don't, we will feel that we are under attack
Yeah.
and we must protect ourselves from attack. Is that accurate?
Yes.
So we
Yes.
have
That
these
is.
attack thoughts, as A Course in Miracles calls them. A Course in Miracles calls them attack thoughts. I am not good enough. I am not this enough. I am not that enough. And something's wrong with me because I feel disconnected from the light of God. And I fear this attack. So I will hide behind this mask. Is that a way to think about it, Henry?
That is a way um, to think about it. You know, if you don't, I said this on TV a few weeks ago. I was interviewed on a local television station here, Reverend Jim. I said, if you don't know who you are, people will tell you.
Mm.
And when you don't know who you are, you
Hmm.
become, how can I word it? You become exposed. That's what
Yeah.
uncover means. You become vulnerable to what
Yes.
people say. Well, you're no
Yes.
good. You'll
Yeah.
never make it. You'll never succeed.
Mm.
You'll never get married. You'll never do this. You will start to believe it because you really don't know who you are. So
Mm.
what happens is we have to change our alignment. A lot
Yes.
of times people are so anti self acceptance. Or when they
Mm.
see a book like this, it turns them off. Not all people, but some people. Oh, it's not about self acceptance or anything.
Mhm.
Because they view self acceptance through the
Mhm.
lens of arrogance or
Mm.
pride, when it's really not. Self acceptance is not arrogance, it's alignment. Aligning myself with what? I'm aligning myself with who I truly am, not with
Yeah.
what others think I should be.
Okay, that helps me to understand. It reminds me of a story. And actually, I put this story in my book, The Soul of Prosperity. The story was about this college professor. They did a little bit of a joke or a prank on this college professor. Uh, when he moved, he was one of those roaming speakers like me. When he speaks, he roams.
Yeah,
And so
walk
every time he
around.
went to the right, yeah. So every time he went to the right, everybody in the class would get rowdy. They would start doing newspapers. They would start talking amongst themselves. But then when he went to the left of center, they would get quiet and they would look at him with Nancy Reagan eyes. And so every time he went to the right, they would get rowdy. Every time they went to the left, they would just get docile. Little by little, over the course of a 90-minute lecture, they had him cowering in one corner of the room, screaming at the top of his lungs, because they had so conditioned him by loving him if he did it one way and not loving him if he did it another way. He had become so conditioned that he lost his center. So if
Mm.
I hear you correctly, you're saying we lose our center in the other way when we are putting on a mask to be what we think others want us to be, because we think we will be rewarded if we are that, and we fear we will be punished if we are something else. Am I hearing that right?
Yes, you are hearing that right. And not only punished, but rejected.
Mm,
That's another reason why a lot of people wear a mask, because if I don't adhere to what people are saying, if I don't
hmm
conform to other people's ideologies, if I don't do it the way other people think I should do it, um,
hmm
we feel like, well, I need to become what they're saying. And
Yes.
there will be retaliation
hmm
for anybody who
Yes.
chooses to be their authentic selves, because what happens is you're pretty much perceived as a threat
Mm.
to those who are still wearing their mask.
Yes. If you take off your mask, you threaten them because their masks become more apparent. Is that right?
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. That helps me understand. And so now we understand a few of the reasons why we wear masks. But as Jerome Braggs said, when you are not at your home address, prosperity can't find you. So you have to take off the mask and be your authentic self. You are encoded. He didn't say this, I'm saying this. You are encoded for prosperity, but the coding that you have for your prosperity is your native coding, not the way you've code shifted to be in alignment with the world's expectations. So let's talk then about how do we take off the masks? How do we build that bridge and get back to authenticity? Because if I recall, your book has a bridge on the cover. Is that accurate?
Oh yeah, it does. And
Okay.
when I was putting it together, I was thinking about a bridge. I was like, the bridge between acceptance and authenticity. And I said to myself, I said, there is a bridge between acceptance and authenticity, because until I fully accept and embrace who I am fully, I feel like this is just me personally. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
until I accept who I am fully, I'll never know what it is to walk in authenticity or to be
Mm.
myself. And one of the chapters, I think chapter one, is called "Will the Real You Please Stand Up?"
Mm.
That question wouldn't be asked if you were living an authentic life. And I'm not saying that everybody out there is wearing a mask. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying that. But I can say, you referred to an address. I can say that I've lived at that address for a while. Haven't
Mm-hmm.
been raised in church, haven't been told you need to be like this person, preach like that person, do it like this person. Well,
Yes.
if you keep doing that, you're going to end up losing yourself in the process.
Yes. Like that professor. Yeah. Okay. I understand that. And so, how do we get to that place of unconditional loving acceptance, which is in alignment with my book, The Soul of Prosperity, which basically says unconditional loving acceptance is the key to allowing your prosperity. So how do we get to that place of acceptance and
It's a
take off the masks?
it's a process,
Mm-hmm.
Reverend Jim, but also um, it's a challenge too,
Mm.
because you have to remove everything from yourself that's not authentically you, and that's hard to do. You know why? That
Why is
means
that?
you have to acknowledge it. That's hard.
Mhm.
That was
Yeah.
hard for me to do. I was like, I didn't want to let it go, but I had
Mm.
to let it go. I lived at this for so long of
Mm-hmm.
people pleasing and
Mm.
all these things that we build around our authentic selves. I think ultimately, to answer your question, what we have to do is peel back the layers of everything that's not yourself. And what
Yes.
I gave this illustration not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Not every fruit, not every fruit, but there are some fruit that have a seeds in it
Mm-hmm.
or a seed. And
Mm-hmm.
in order to get to that seed, you got to go through some rough patches, peeling it back. If you can just envision that, those that are watching, until
Mm-hmm.
you get to that seed.
Mm-hmm.
One may ask, well, Henry, what is that seed? That
Okay.
seed is your authentic self. So
Oh.
I feel like never, and once you find that seed, you take
Mm-hmm.
full ownership of it. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and everything that you've built around that seed, whether that's people pleasing, doing it the way others want to do it, becoming an
Mm-hmm.
imposter, all
Mm-hmm.
these things, those are the things that we built around that seed. But once you find it, you own it, and you walk in that. And that's also called taking your power back.
Yes.
I'll talk a little
Very
bit about that
interesting.
in a little bit.
Okay. Okay. We'll talk about taking the power back. I want to drill down on this a little bit more. And the reason that I want to drill down on this a little bit more, because seed is a powerful metaphor. For seed is the indication of new growth. And so, in order to get to the seed, in order to have the new growth, it sounds like you're saying we have to get through all the things that cover it up. Am I hearing that right?
Yeah, we do. And it's all the things that we built around it. Um,
Yeah.
nobody
So,
is born, nobody is born inauthentic.
mhm,
Like I feel like that's something that I think that's a trait or something that we pick up as we
mhm.
live throughout this life. And it's almost ingrained into us uh,
Yeah.
as a child to be like Mike and be like, and I'm not saying we can't be inspired, but
Mhm,
sometimes when you do let, you take away from your own intelligence and your own brilliance because you don't
mm,
realize the price of uniqueness. And when you
yeah,
realize how unique you are,
right.
um, you'll stop trying to copycat or do it the way somebody else do it. What you
Yeah.
have to bring to the table is just as important and just as valuable.
Yes. You know what that reminds me of? You know I like music, right?
Yes.
It reminds me of Cyndi Lauper. Cyndi Lauper bounced around. She was a brilliant artist. She was a brilliant songwriter. She was a brilliant performer. And she bounced
Mhm.
around for years because they said, "You're too unusual." And she tried everything to break into the music business, but they kept saying, "You're too unusual." You know what the title of her first album was that sold millions and millions of copies and made her an international superstar? The
What
title of it
was it?
was She's So Unusual,
Yeah.
because she finally embraced the fact that she was unusual instead of yielding and cowering to others' expectations that she needed to normalize herself. And when she did Girls Just Want to Have Fun with that funny hair and that funny dress
Mhm.
and all those other unusual women, it spoke her seed, her authentic seed of being unusual, spoke to their seeds. And it spoke to the seed in each and every one of us that believed ourselves to be in some way, on some level, unusual. And millions of people, including me, bought that album. So it sounds like she found her authentic self and it made her rich. And it sounds like we can all find our authentic selves and be rich in love, rich in peace, rich in ease, rich in joy, rich in fulfillment, rich in support, and rich in every way that serves us so we can serve God. Would that be accurate?
That is accurate.
Okay. Well, I want to talk some more about that after our break. And I also want to talk about some of the other things that you mentioned. And before we go to break, I want to invite our guests to say hello, let us know you're here. And also, if you've got any questions of Henry Harris, feel free to put them in the chat. And you can do that while we're on break. And we'll be back here on the New Thought Media Network.
Please help us say thank you to all of our organizational sponsors, including the Hefferland Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Center for Spiritual Living United Life, Sunshine Cathedral, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Universal Joy Center, Unity Kitchener, Unity Spiritual Center Ottawa, Home Center for Spiritual Living, Satya Center, Begin Within Ministries, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and the Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. On behalf of New Thought Media Network, thank you, and please like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, come be you. Come expand your spiritual journey. Join us for Just the Talk, Sundays, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Experience Unity Kitchener and Ottawa. Center for Spiritual Living Midtown. Center for Spiritual Living Denver. Unity of Garden Park. New Thought Philadelphia. The Sunshine Cathedral. Unity of Savannah. And the Om Center for Spiritual Living. Come unleash your spiritual potential with New Thought Media Network. New Thought Media Network proudly presents the Science of Mind Saturday Conversations. Learn more about the Science of Mind philosophy, faith, and way of life. Join our team of experts for a weekly deep dive discussion. Come study the science of mind, chapter by chapter, and resources from the Science of Mind archives. Plan to join us every Saturday, 9 a.m. Mountain Time. Only on the New Thought Media Network.
And we're back here on the New Thought Media Network. My special guest tonight is Henry Harris, author of the new book, Uncovered. And we're talking about being your authentic self and how that authentic self has many rewards. Now, one of the things, we have a few comments and questions, and so I'd like for us to address those comments and questions first. First, Michael from Virginia had a comment. He could really relate to the masks that he has been conditioned to wear. And the way that I'd like to address this is I'd like to, just for us to discuss how Society at times rewards our masks because we put them on as coping mechanisms. But eventually, we may find that those masks that we used as coping mechanisms no longer work and work to our detriment instead of our benefit. What do you think about that? And how can we figure out when an old mask no longer fits?
I think the best thing you can do is you said the key word is no longer working.
Mhm,
It works for a while, and then and then you see it's no longer working.
mhm,
um, I feel like what a person should do is, if it's no longer working and you can identify that it's no longer working, what's important is that you
mhm,
flip the strip.
mhm,
When a producer is putting a movie together or writing out
mhm,
a strip or whatever, you
mhm,
have to go by that strip. You
mhm,
can't change it, you can't alter it unless
mhm,
you have the producer's permission to do that.
mhm,
Um, Many of us have been living our lives, including the mass, based off of the strip that other people have written out for us.
mhm,
Many of us know it's not working, but
mhm,
you said another word earlier about condition. We've been
mhm,
conditioned to believe that this is going to work
mhm,
or this is
mhm,
who I am. That's why it
mhm.
makes it difficult to remove the mask. So I would say in a situation like that, we have to learn how to flip the strip. That means to be revolutionary. That means to do something that has never been done before.
Mhm.
And like I said earlier, you may lose some people.
Yeah.
You would think that uh, authenticity causes people to grab more people to gravitate towards you, and that is true. Real recognizes real, but I've
Mhm,
discovered that when I had my mask on, I had
mhm,
more friends, I
mhm,
had more connections, and when
mhm,
I stopped living a lie and stopped living how other people thought I should be living and doing what I thought I should be doing, that's when they look for the nearest exit. But
Yes.
but it's
And
o-
you
it's okay. It's okay. You got other people that are
mhm,
coming in your life, and you already know people come in your life for a reason. They come in your life for a season. People come and go. Um,
mhm.
they used to bother me. I was like, I'm just being true to who I am. But like I
Yes.
said, it's perceived as a threat. They
Mhm,
still have a mask on. They
mhm,
haven't flipped the strip yet. They're still living based off of the strip that other people have done. I would suggest that they do something they've never done before, and that's
mhm.
remove the mask.
Yes. Because if they're wearing a mask, they want you to respond to that mask. And when you don't respond to their mask anymore, that throws them off. Now, you know what just popped into my head, Henry Harris?
Hmm.
Ask God, what is your script for me?
Mm,
You
that's
know,
good.
for example, if my script has been, I will only have value if I please everyone around me, so I will adopt these people pleasing behaviors in order to survive and get the love that I feel that I need, then if that is my script and it's no longer working for me because I am feeling depleted, I am feeling uninspired, I am feeling unloved, and I am feeling unfulfilled, then I can ask God, God, what is your script? How do you see me? What is the role you see me playing? And how will you lift me to that? We've got some help here, and that help is God. Does that make
Amen.
sense?
It does in terms of spirituality. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I told somebody this the other day. With my authentic self, I know who I am now,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like I would have known that if
Yes.
God didn't show me that.
Yes,
'Cause
and let's think of it this way too. Our authentic self is the self that God created. So our authentic self is the self God loves.
Mhm.
That just popped into my head. So fascinating.
That's
So
good.
TG had a couple of comments as well that I feel that everyone can benefit from understanding. What if I feel my authentic self isn't who I want to be? For example, I often feel lazy, unattractive, and untalented because I am. Those can't just be attack thoughts. Is that the script you're telling yourself, TG? If that is the script you are telling yourself, you might ask, what is God telling me? What does God have to say to me? What is God's thought about this? I know my thoughts. I just put them up here on the board. You might ask, what are God's thoughts? And if you were to ask God, what are God's thoughts? I wonder what God's response could be. I imagine it could be, I created you just as you are. I created you as love. I created you beautiful. I created you lovely, lovable, and love-able. I created you as love, like myself. That's a lesson in the Course in Miracles. Love created me like itself. And if we were to listen to God, God would often tell us some variation on that truth. God is love and so am I, is a lesson in A Course in Miracles too. So God would tell us, I am love and so are you. And then God might ask us, because we're not marionettes for God. God might ask us, what form of love do you want to take, see, and be? And then you can write your new script based on love. What do you think, Henry Harris?
I agree with everything you just said. I think that's good. I believe God is love, and I believe that we are an embodiment of that. I have ran into people in the past. I'm not saying this is what this person is, but that that have not been, that don't know what it's like to be accepted. It's easy for me to say, accept yourself, validate yourself, approve yourself, love yourself.
Yes.
But what if this is another perspective I can bring? What if that person has not been accepted properly? What if they haven't been loved properly? And did my book address this too? Because I'm very sensitive to people who may not have been accepted or loved properly. They don't even know where to start. And the things that you just mentioned is a great start. What is God's perception of me? What does he think about me? I think that's a great start. Looking in the mirror. I want this book to be a mirror, a bridge, an awakening. I want it to be I want it to be reflective. So when they read it, they're like, "Oh wow, this is something that resonates with me. This is something that I've been struggling with." So I just wanted to bring that point out because there are a lot of people out there that have not been loved properly or and treated properly. They don't know what it's like. You mentioned earlier about some people who say things like, "I'm not good enough." I always ask, why do you feel that way? I feel inadequate. I feel this way or that. I always ask why. I always want to know the root of why they feel the way they feel. So I think that's a good perspective that you came from.
Thank you. Well, TG had another comment as well about abundance. So let's put that up and let's chat that through as well. Also, when we talk about prosperity, should we be careful to say positive prosperity or positive abundance? Because we can have an abundance of bad things. I would guess absolutely. I often say an abundance of all things good. And that's how I tend to phrase it, just to foreclose on the possibility of an abundance of more problems. What do you think, Henry Harris?
I think what you just said is pretty much hit the target. And I agree with what you said. And I think I'll just leave it at that because you just summed it up very well.
Okay, good. Now, Henry Harris, you mentioned some other tools that we could use that are in your book to get to a place of being peaceful, while unmasked, and feeling strong while unmasked instead of feeling vulnerable while unmasked. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I mentioned earlier that we would come back to this, and that's we talk about that seed,
Yes,
taking full ownership
yes.
of that. It's all about taking your power back. Some of us already have
Mhm,
it. There are so many people today that um, the things that they long for or the things that they desire, they simply don't give that to themselves.
mm,
And I often tell people, what would it look like? I mean, just imagine for a second, what would it look like to give yourself what you're looking for in other people?
mm,
And when you are in a position where you become over obsessed with the opinions of others, you become over obsessed with what they think about me, you become over obsessed with wanting to be like this person or this way, or they don't love me, they don't validate me. What
mhm.
happens is you don't realize this at the time, or at least I did, but when you do that, you're slowly giving that seed away. You're slowly giving that power away. Why did I say that? Because um, it's almost like going back to that person as your source,
Mhm.
because you don't really have it, because they now have that control and power
Mm,
now because you gave it to them.
mm.
Almost like you ran out of supply. So when I need love, when I need acceptance, when I need validation, when I need all these things, it's almost like I got to go back to that. And I'm not saying a person can't give that to you. I just think it's more powerful when you can take ownership of it yourself in the event where they don't
Oh,
love you again, or they don't validate you, or they don't approve of
oh,
you, that you're not stuck.
oh, I get it. I get it. It's like if you give someone else the power to love you, validate you, make you feel a certain way, then you keep having to go to them for your supply. But what if you
Exactly.
supplied it to yourself because it was a part of you before you gave it away? Then you
Exactly.
wouldn't be dependent on anyone else for it when they might not be available or might not be in the mood. Amen. I get it.
Exactly.
Wow.
We got a chapter in the book that's called "How Much Control Do I Have?" And
Yes.
it's so in alignment with what we're talking about. Because
Okay.
there's so many people that's like, um, they really believe
Hmm.
that it's other people's responsibility to make them happy.
Okay.
And the
Hmm.
reality of it is,
Hmm.
nobody can truly make you happy. Happiness is a inside work.
Yes.
Happiness is an inside job. Now,
Yes.
on the other side of that,
Hmm.
people can add to your happiness. I can't
Or
tell you how
reflect
many
your inner
relationships
happiness.
and connections I've been in where I spent a majority of my life trying to make everybody happy. And there's
Hmm.
been times where I'm like, okay, I've went to the extremes. This person
Hmm.
is still not happy. Well,
Right.
that's a personal issue.
Hmm.
So that's a full-time job too. So
And if you're in a relationship, if you're spending all your time making them happy and they're spending all their time making them happy, who's spending time making you happy?
exactly, exactly.
So, yes, I get that. Wow. So we can take our power back
Yeah.
and we take it back as our authentic selves, where in the past we've given it away to others and put
Hmm.
on a mask in order to get it from them.
Hmm.
Is that what I'm hearing? I just want to
Yeah,
make sure I'm
that's
hearing this
yeah,
right.
that's what you're hearing.
Okay, okay. Well, neat. That is so wonderful. Well, we're going to talk a little bit more about that, and we're going to go to break right now, but we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more about that here on the New Thought Media Network.
Come expand your spiritual journey. Join us for Just the Talk, Sundays, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Experience Unity Kitchener and Ottawa. Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Unity of Garden Park, New Thought Philadelphia, the Sunshine Cathedral, Unity of Savannah, and the Ohm Center for Spiritual Living. Come unleash your spiritual potential with New Thought Media Network. New Thought Media Network proudly presents the Science of Mind Saturday Conversations. Learn more about the Science of Mind philosophy, faith, and way of life. Join our team of experts for a weekly deep dive discussion. Come study the science of mind, chapter by chapter, and resources from the Science of Mind archives. Plan to join us every Saturday, 9 a.m. Mountain Time. Only on the New Thought Media Network.
And we're back here on the New Thought Media Network. And we've got Henry Harris, and we're talking about authenticating your way to prosperity, being your authentic self, because your prosperity can only be delivered to you where you live in your authentic self. So we've looked at some ways that we mask. We looked at how those masks that we adopted because we believed we needed them to survive may not serve us now. We looked at ways to unmask and how when we unmask, we find our true power and our true strength, because at the core, our seed self or our core self is the part of us that has been destined and programmed to prosperity. Anything else you want to say about this, Henry?
I just want to say that every person is unique in their own way. You don't, I'll say it this way, I don't have to be a counterfeit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to be something that I'm not. I have another chapter in the book called Religious Imposters.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a really good chapter. But you don't have to be an imposter. As I said earlier, what you have to bring to the table is just as powerful, just as unique. And that's what this book does. It's an invitation to remove the mask. That when you walk in the room, you don't have to act a certain way around the church people, or act a certain way around this friend or that friend. As we talked about earlier, some people create different versions of themselves around different people, or they put on different masks. No,
Right.
I'm walking in the room as myself. I'm walking in this relationship as myself. I'm walking into this marriage as myself. And it's liberating. It really is. So people may ask, will the real you please stand up? Why would I ask that? Because the real you, the authentic you, the true you deserves to be seen.
And loved and rewarded by God and supported by God. Amen?
Amen.
Good. So this book sounds intriguing, Henry Harris. When will we be able to buy copies of it?
We're looking at it releasing roughly around the end of March, probably going into April. We put spring. We've been telling everybody it's spring because spring is anywhere between March to June. But I've been announcing this for a little over 9 months, maybe 10 months now. So people have been waiting with such anticipation.
Yes.
But we're looking at right around springtime. They can order directly through me. I'm on Facebook. They can contact me on Facebook. Also, it'll be on Amazon in paperback and hardcover when it comes out. And the prices are very reasonable. This is actually the cheapest book that I've ever put out there, and I did that intentionally because I feel like everybody needs this copy
Mm,
on cover because there is a bridge between acceptance and authenticity.
mm. Wow. So you made it affordable for people. How wonderful.
Oh yeah,
That is wonderful. Well, wonderful. So I guess between now and then you're working on getting this book out and into the hands of everyone whose souls are calling for it. Is that accurate?
yes, that's accurate, and I think it's going to really help people. It's a
Mm,
process, so don't be too hard on yourself. This book is very in depth. One of my friends said that read the book. She said, "What I love about this book the most is that Henry doesn't come across as if he has the answers.
mm, mhm,
He's just sharing his journey. And if you can make it applicable to your life, use it. It
mm,
may not be for everyone, but
mhm,
if you're wearing a mask or you just don't know, and you really want to go back to your true self, your authentic self,
mhm.
um, I think this book is very elementary, very easy to learn, and it's short.
Okay.
It's not like a 500-page book.
Right.
It may be about this is actually my shortest book too. I think it's like 40 pages,
Okay.
eight chapters. But I think people all like it.
Yes. People like short books these days. So it sounds like you hit that nail right on the head. So you're working on some exciting things, Henry.
I am.
That's good. It's always good to have something exciting to work on.
I hear that you're working on some exciting things too.
I am. I've got a new set of classes that start in mid March. And one is a class that has been extremely successful. It's called Opening to Channel Extended. I'm
Hmm.
extending it for 4 more weeks. People have had shockingly amazing experiences in this class. Just to quote one person who, after a recent class, texted me and said, "Wow, I didn't feel like I was my higher self. I felt the true and for the first time at one with the universe, at one with God speaking to me and through me as me." And so, what we do in this class is we have weekly experiences of opening ourselves so that the infinite love of the universe can embrace us, move to us, and speak through us. So it is a pinnacle class of growth and development. So we're extending that for 4 more weeks, beginning on Monday, March 9th. Now, I don't want you to feel like you've missed the bus or you're coming in halfway through the movie because these, no matter where you are on the spectrum of your growth and development, you can go deeper and you can go higher. And these experiences will help you to do so, not only because of the exercises that we do, because this is experiential, but also because you will be inebriated by the collective energy of the group that will take you higher immediately, effortlessly, and joyfully to that place of peace, that place of bliss, that place of oneness with the universe, where the universe and its universal love can speak to you and through you as you. So that's opening to channel extended on 4 Mondays beginning on March 9th. And I'm also doing another class, and this one is called Ask Spirit Anything. Because you know I channel the masters of planetary healing and transformation. And quite often, what they'll do is they'll start a session with a deep, deep healing. Then they'll go into a lecture on a topic, and then you can ask them questions either on the subject matter about which they've lectured or anything else. Well, I know that there are times when you just have random questions or a question about this, a question about that, and it hasn't to do with the title of any class. So, this is an opportunity for anyone and everyone to ask Spirit the questions that they want to ask of Spirit. Now, I also do two for the price of one. So if you sign up for the Monday class, you can join the Thursday class or vice versa. They're on Zoom, so it doesn't matter where you are. And if you can't make one of the classes or two of the classes, that's okay, because they're recorded and I send the recordings. Now, if you don't want to participate interactively, you can get the recordings all anyway. You can get the recordings and you can just do it at your own pace. So for both classes for 4 weeks, it's $80. Buy one class, you get the other one free. So it's $80 if you're a member of the Tacoma Metaphysical Chapel or another New Thought community. It's $100 if you're a friend. So 4 weeks, $80, or 4 weeks, $100, and you get the recording so you can work with these experiences and you can work with this over and over again. So that's what I'm working on. I've got a couple of other surprises for you too, but I'll announce those soon. But the point of all of this is these classes that I'm doing are already filled, and a lot of people will just roll over into the next phase. So if this is something that speaks to you, it's important for you to register sooner rather than later, before the classes sell out. So I look forward to these next 4 weeks beginning on March 9th and March 12th. And in the meantime, just text me if you've got any questions, or if you want a sneak preview of what we're doing. I might be able to sneak you into one of the existing classes because we have some no-shows from time to time. So just get in touch with me. So that's what I'm up to, Henry Harris.
That's
But
awesome.
Yeah.
I hope everybody participates.
Yes, that's awesome. And so are you. So I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for your energy, your wisdom, your insights. I can't wait to get the book Uncovered, The Bridge Between Authenticity. And so I look forward to that. I want to also thank our producer, Michael Menges, tonight for putting this together. And I want to thank all of our guests for being here, for your questions, and for your presence. So we're here every Sunday at 8 Eastern. And so I look forward to seeing you next week here on the Miracle of Prosperity on the New Thought Media Network. Good night.